Oh, it's over. It's over. It's finally done and out of the way. Oh, God. Review Week of Awesome is over. I say, like, it's actually kind of weird. I'm of a different mindset than I was the last couple of years. Because the last couple of years, I'm like, I am a crazy, insane person for doing 5 reviews in the span of a week. But then there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I should do this more often. I remember last year I finished it and I thought, hey, maybe I should make this a twice yearly thing. Do it every 6 months. And that, no. Well, this time around, it's not really this year's fault. Well, it's the year's fault, because fuck 2016. But it's not like the voters' fault. It's not the anime choices. I just had a lot of family-related issues that kept popping up all fall and early winter now that delayed the Review Week of Awesome and kept putting up barriers that stop me from working on it, and then I get stressed because it's not getting done to the speed that I wanted it to, because I actually wanted the Review Week of Awesome to happen earlier this year, because normally, for the past 2 years, it's been the first week of December. Now, I'd never, confirm on that, and this year is a perfect example of a reason why I don't confirm the actual week beforehand, is because shit happens, and I can't always guarantee months in ahead of the week itself that it's going to be able to happen. So this year's an example of that. Shit happened, and it wasn't able to be done in time for the week before. Had I tried to do it the week before, the last 2 videos wouldn't have made it up in time, because the first 3 videos would have been able to be done. So Tokyo Ghoul and JoJo and Durarara, those would have been able to go up a week earlier if I pushed it. But Sins and Avatar, not so much. But anyway, so for those of you who have never been to a Review Week of Awesome before, I hope you enjoyed it. And now this is the point where I get to go over the voting. Yes, because earlier on this year, a number of months ago, I think it was in mid-September, I did a video and I was like, hey, vote on this shit. And then people did. And then the top 5 of those was what I ended up reviewing this past week. And it took me most of the fall to get that thrown together on top of everything else I did during the fall, which wasn't as much as I would have liked because of reasons that I'm not going to get into. On top of being lazy, let's just say that most of it is lazy. Yeah, if you need an explanation, let's throw in lazy. Yeah, just give me a minute to bring up the survey. Also, it was the end of September. Yes, because that's when, it was mid to end September when I did this, because the survey software actually tells me everything. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50 shows that I had people vote on. And we only picked 5. So I'm going to start from the bottom up and start from the lowest of the low here to kind of let you know where everything was placed. So at number 50, the one with the least amount of votes, taking only 435, which is still pretty high. 435 people wanted me to review this show, which is depressing, because I also wanted to review the show, and that was Goldenar. Goldenar I picked up earlier the year, but I've been wanting to pick it up for years, because I think it had one of the best trailers ever, specifically like the English language trailer, because it's kind of weird because it spoils the plot for the first number of episodes, but it just does so in such a brilliant way that I'm just like, yep, no, I need to watch that now. And of course it took me years to finally track down a copy. I did, and I was like, hey, I'll throw it in the Review Week of Awesome, maybe it'll get somewhere. Apparently not. And that's kind of our baseline, and everything goes up from there. So it is kind of sad that that was the one at the bottom, but something's got to be at the bottom. Something's always got to be the bottom. Next is Croisé in a Foreign Labyrinth. I probably pronounced that wrong because it's French and I'm not. That's a show that I watched when it aired a bunch of years back, and I've been meaning to talk about it. I meant to do a review on it back then, but I never did. And it turns out not a lot of people cared about it, or at least less people than I do, because it's a really charming show, but it only got 708, which is almost twice as many as Goldenar. So that's something nice, but yeah, that was rather depressing. But if you haven't checked it out, you should. It's a lovely show. Next up from that was Love Lab, 1,227 votes. And that was something I ended up buying at Anime North this past year, kind of as a joke, but because I owned it, and I was just like, throw it on the list, see if people like it. The one above that was Symphogear, which a number of people in my circle of friends love to tell me that I need to watch all of immediately, but it only got 1,447 votes. So it's fairly down low here. Down low. Down low. In the flow. Can you go? The thing above that was Read or Die TV. Because I did a review on the Read or Die OVA a number of years back. I don't know if that one's actually on YouTube. Future me, go check that up and let me know down here. And with the TV series, I finally was able to track down a copy because the internet is rampant with piracy copies for that thing because it's gone out of print and has been out of print for a while. But I finally found a version that wasn't too expensive, and I picked it up because it's a great show and I really enjoyed it, but only 1,629 people agree with me. And I know I say only 1,629 people, and admittedly that's a lot of people, but when we start getting up there in this list, you'll realize that, no, there's a lot of people that wanted other things more. Above Read or Die was Gundam Build Fighters, which is basically Gundam X Angelic Layer. That's kind of my review for it. Gundam X Angelic Layer. It's Angelic Layer remade with Gundams. It's not bad, and I know a lot of people say it's a very good Gundam show, and that's fine. I think you would enjoy Build Fighters a lot more if you're really into Gundam, because they make lots of references to all the different Gunpla through years of Gundam history, and if you already know that stuff, then you're like, hey, that's cool, I know that. But if you don't know any of it, you're like, oh, it's another robot. Cool. Above that was Macross Frontier, which is never coming over to North America, depressingly, because of Robotech. That deserves a video at some point. I'll do it. I just don't know when. Macross Frontier had 1,976, not 96, 1,976 votes. And it's been my favorite Macross, although I've only seen a couple of different Macross shows. I haven't watched all of them, but Macross Frontier is kind of my favorite. And it's really cool. So that's kind of going to be like one of my things. A lot of the things that I put on this list that ended up like down here in the bottom dregs are shows that a lot of people haven't heard of, but I have, and I like them, and I wanted to talk about them, but nobody wanted to see me talk about them, so that's why they're here. Next up was Excel Saga, which please tell me if you've never heard of Excel Saga before, go watch it, or at least go watch the intro. Go watch the intro, turn on the translation so you can actually read what they're saying and tell me that this is not a crazy, out of this world insane show. And that was 2,048 people wanted Excel Saga. Above that was Kantai Collection. For 2,539 people wanted Kantai Collection. That's not too surprising. Still pretty surprising that it is down low, especially considering it's under Aria the Animation at 2,676. I've had Aria on my shelf for about 3 years now. Still haven't watched it. Need to. Outbreak Company was above that at 2,782. Outbreak Company is a show that I watched when it was airing. And it was one of those shows that I ended up not finishing at the time because I got sidetracked with other things and never went back to it and always meant to, and then it got dubbed and released, and then I bought the release and now it's just sitting on my shelf. But I really enjoyed the crap out of it, and I don't know why I haven't gone back and finished watching it. I just haven't, so I wanted an excuse, and the Review of Awesome did not give me that excuse. Just above that, with very little extra votes, because it's only 2,789, it's only 5 extra votes, was Karikano, or His and Her Circumstances, which was the romance made by Gainax and Hideki Anno shortly after Evangelion, that I'm surprised more people don't know about and talk about on a regular basis. Cause I think it's better than Eva. But that's just me. Above that, thankfully, and I say thankfully because it's a really good show and I'm glad that it at least made it this far, was Princess Jellyfish at 2,979. If you haven't watched Princess Jellyfish, Funimation has it? Yes, I'm pretty sure it's Funimation because my copy was the Save collection. Although I really kind of wanted the special edition box, but I don't always have the money for those things, even as pretty as it was. Princess Jellyfish was a wonderful series, and I hope a lot of people watch it. But next is one that a lot of people are going to be disappointed only got 3,071 votes. And that was Urasawa's Monster. Because when 7 Deadly Sins got released, or my review for it went up on YouTube, I saw quite a few comments of people saying, oh, the last one's gotta be Monster, right? Because, of course, it only got 7.7% of all votes cast. Now, it is possible that it's because it wasn't just Monster. I actually had it listed as Naoki Urasawa's Monster. And maybe some people didn't know what that meant, even though it is technically Monster. Like, that could just be my fault. But yeah, anyway, that would have been a bit difficult to do anyway, because I would have had to have imported it from Australia, which I'm less inclined to do, because the last time I got something from Australia, a wonderful fan gave me Nichijou. Less than a week later, Funimation announces that it rescued it and will be releasing it, probably with a dub. The bastards. And when I say probably, I don't actually think that they announced it with a dub. I'm pretty sure they're not dubbing it, which is sad. Very sad. Above that with 3,673 votes was Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. Zetsubo Star. I'm in despair because the show is so low on the list. Zetsubo Star! Above that was Silver Spoon at 3,735, because yes, I needed an excuse to watch something that will make me hungry. It's one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy watching Food Wars all that much, because I really wanted food after watching those episodes, and I don't really have much in the way of fine cuisine and a good diet to make me feel better about that. Hitachi Access Powers was above Silver Spoon at 4,439. 400,400 Silver Spoon. And Hitachi Access Powers, because that's exactly where I am. I'm tired. It's been a long week. Hitachi Access Powers, where I got the basis of my jacket from. The jacket that I'm not wearing right now because it's kind of got a bunch of permanent marker pen marks. Some of the buttons are falling off and it never fit me well to begin with. So I keep saying I'm looking for a replacement, but I've had a couple of opportunities to get a replacement, and then because I was busy, I didn't follow up on them, and things are going to shit, and that's my life right now. And this is where I would say that freaking Familiar Zero came in at 4,398 votes, but I skipped over that when I was doing recording of the live action stuff, so no, I can't tell you that, so that's why I'm doing it here. It's been a long day, it was a long list, I'm sorry. Above that was Free at 5,250 votes, which I'm surprised was only this far down. I expected Free to go up higher, mostly because I think last year I had Free on the list and it was quite high. So I'm surprised it dropped down so much in only a year. Above that was Shakugan no Shana at 5,374. That would have given me an excuse to finally sit down and watch the third season of Shana, because I've seen the first two. And I started watching the third one when it was airing, but I only got like 3 or 4 episodes in, and then I stopped, and then I never went back. And stuff and things. Above that was the first season of Digimon Adventure at 5,414. The nostalgia would have been great with that one, but unfortunately, not many people agreed. However, more people wanted to see Lucky Star at 5,583, which I finally got the Blu-ray copy for, because you need Blu-ray quality to be able to tell you what side of the chocolate cornet is the head, which is hilarious, because everybody brings up that joke, and it's because it's from episode 1, so it's been around the longest, and there's so many much better jokes in Lucky Star. Above that was Shimueta at 5,625, which has been making the rounds. I'm actually quite surprised that it is that high. I expected that one to be quite a bit lower. Not as much as Soul Eater. Soul Eater got 5,723 votes. And I own it. And I haven't watched it yet. And I wanted an excuse to get it. Or an excuse to watch it. Because I've heard mixed things on Soul Eater. I've heard a lot of people say it's utter shit, but those could just be really big Soul Eater fan people. The same people that tell me that my opinion on Soul Eater is shit, because I actually like the anime of Soul Eater, but a lot of people hate it because the ending is an anime-only ending. It doesn't follow the manga, which generally happens. Above that was Love, Jinibyo, and Other Delusions at 5,838. I don't own Jinibyo, but I watched it when it aired, and I've been meaning to pick it up, and I don't have to yet. I probably will eventually, just as much as I will eventually be picking up Seraph of the End, Vampire Reign, that got 5,934 votes. 5,934 votes for Seraph. I guess because it was pretty popular, like with in the last year or so. It was on Double Talk and a bunch of other things, and vampires. Ugh. Above that was Snow White with red hair at 6,215, which is a show that I really wanted to talk about because I thought it looked really great, and I don't own it yet, and I wanted an excuse. Didn't get to. Above that was Kokoro Connect at 6,329. Kokoro Connect is another show that's been sitting on my shelf for probably far too long, and I really wanted to watch it, and I haven't. Above that, Pokemon, specifically Indigo League, because I had to cut these longer shows off somewhere, so I cut Pokemon off saying, no, I'm just going to talk about Indigo League. That's like 60, 70 some odd episodes, and it's the ones that everybody has nostalgia for anyway, so yeah, I would just do those, and then that never happened. But above that was Great Teacher Onizuka at 6,538. GTO is a show that I also have. It's on my shelf, and I have watched it. But my first watching of GTO was like back when I was in high school, and I haven't rewatched it. And I really wanted an excuse to. Didn't get it. Above that was Eureka 7 at 6,564. I've owned Eureka 7 for at least 2 years now. I'll watch it one of these days. K-On! Was ahead of that at 6,805. We are now, by the way, at 17.1% of the vote. Of like all votes cast. So we're getting closer to the top. So that was K-On! The first season. Above that was Beyond the Boundary, which I am depressed because it got more votes than K-On!, and I think K-On! Is far better than Kyokai no Kanata. Beyond the Boundary, which is depressing. Blood Blockade Battlefront, Kekai Seiin, or Sensen, 6,869. Blood Blockade Battlefront I picked up when I was at Youmacon, even though full knowing how far down it was in this list, and I'm like, nah, screw it, I like the show, I'm going to review it sometime, eventually, maybe. No, we'll find out. Above that was Bleach, 7,156. Bleach, I specifically put in here episodes 1 to 63, because that includes the intro, and all of the Soul Society arc, which everybody kept telling me is the best part of Bleach, so, hey, I actually thought that was going to be a lot higher than it was. But people like Danganronpa the animation better at 7,401 votes. Oh, Danganronpa, man. And of course, the next one is one that vocal minority is really pissed off that I haven't reviewed Shinsekai Yori yet. I'll get to it. I need to buy it. 7,913 for Shinsekai Yori. It received 19.8% of all votes cast. Keeping in mind, of course, that anytime somebody voted, they could vote for multiple things. But still, so 19.8% of people that voted for Shinsekai Yori. Just under 20%, but exactly 20% was for Nichijou, My Ordinary Life, at 7,967 votes. That would have been really cool. Above that, though, is Overlord. Overlord had 8,206 votes. Overlord. Yeah. Next was Fairy Tail. And this one I was actually really hoping didn't win because I've specified that I would watch the first 179 episodes of Fairy Tail, which just would have killed me. Because like I watched Hunter x Hunter last year, but that only had like, Hunter x Hunter was like 130 some odd, 120, 130 some odd. Fairy Tail would have put me at almost 180, but 8,242 people wanted me to do that. Thankfully I didn't have to. Above that was A Certain Magical Index, 8,492. 8,492, A Certain Magical Index. Above that was Ouran High School Host Club, 8,696. A lot of people are under the impression that I've never watched Ouran. This is not true. I've watched Ouran a couple of times now, but I haven't reviewed it. Why? Because I had this really stupid idea thing where I would be in costume when I did it, and I haven't spent the money on a costume because I don't have the money for a costume, so I haven't done it yet. That is literally the only reason I haven't done it. I should probably just do it. But until then, above that was High School of the Dead, 9,805, and now we're starting to see a bit of an exponential curve upwards. So after High School of the Dead, people wanted me to review Blue Exorcist. By the way, we are now at the 7th. So wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10! Top 10. 10 was A Certain Magical Index, 9 was Ouran, 8 was High School of the Dead, 7 was Blue Exorcist at 10,091 votes. That's pretty high. 6 was My Teen Romantic Comedy, Snafu 2, which I really really wanted to win. I wanted that to beat Tokyo Ghoul because I more so wanted to watch the second season of Snafu following last year, where for Review Week of Awesome I did the first season, and I wanted to do that more than I wanted to do Tokyo Ghoul. But 10,796 people wanted me to do Tokyo Ghoul instead, so Tokyo Ghoul was number 5. Number 4 was Durarara at 12,117 votes. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the first 2 parts, totaled at 12,666. Because, we're talking about JoJo. 666 has to be in there somewhere. 7 Deadly Sins brought it up with 13,344. And then keeping that in mind, 13,344. And the top one for this year was 17,010. That was for Avatar: The Last Airbender. 42.6% of everybody that voted this year for the Review Week of Awesome wanted me to review Avatar, which is kind of weird, and I guess I should probably have a brief chat about that. Because some people are like, oh, well, Avatar's not an anime, and I'm like, yeah, no, so if you watch my video, you'll know that I agree. And then people would be like, well, what the hell, man? Why would you put it on the list in the first place? Because I honestly didn't expect it to win. For a while now, some people have been telling me I should always put a joke entry kind of on the list. People was like, oh, you should put Cory in the House there. And I almost did. But I put an Avatar thinking, oh, hey, well, if it does do decently well, then it'd be a cool story about how I can talk about it and stuff. I didn't expect it to win. I did not expect it to win by that margin. And now I definitely will not put Cory in the House on this list because it will win. And then I'll have to do a video on it, which would be fun and hilarious. But I wanted to talk about Avatar anyway, because again, my point with Avatar, if you haven't watched the video, which you should, my point with Avatar was that, yeah, it might not be anime, and it ain't anime, at least in my mind, but anyone who watches anime will enjoy the fuck out of it, so you should go watch it, if you haven't. It's Avatar. Less so Korra. More so Avatar, less so Korra. I have thoughts on Korra. I could make an entire video on that. I don't know if people would appreciate it. I had an excuse with Avatar being like, well, you guys voted. You guys voted for Avatar. People wanted me to talk about Avatar. It's not my fault. And that worked out really well. But now I'm in this weird place because the week is over. And normally I'm like, I want to do it again, but not so soon. Because it was a lot of work and it was really stressful, but I want to do it again. This time, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do it again, because that was a lot of work, and a lot of shit happened this fall. And the problem that I had, especially this year with the Review Week of Awesome, is that I feel so locked down in that anytime that I can spend time on my videos, I felt like I needed to be working on those 5, because they weren't done. And they needed to be done, because I kind of promised that they'd be done, because the top 5 always get done. So, like, I felt I had a bunch of other videos that I wanted to do over the course of the fall, but then shit happened and I didn't have as much time to work as I wanted, and then instead of doing those videos that I had hoped to do throughout like October and November, I just couldn't. I have an entire Halloween video that I recorded and I didn't get it edited in time for Halloween, and I didn't put it up afterwards because I was like, well, now Halloween's kind of over, so maybe I'll throw it up in January to be like, hey, I did this thing for Halloween. It's a bit late, but it's spooky. It's not really spooky. It's actually me talking about how not spoopy this one show is, despite ghost being in the name. But yeah, so will I do this again next year? I don't know. I'll let future Arcata determine that. He can do that after next summer passes and he's sitting there in August of 2017 and be like, yeah, maybe I will. Because next year is going to be very interesting because I'm going to have a lot more stuff on my plate. Because I'm still going to be doing as many videos as I would like to do. On top of which, I'm going to a lot more conventions in 2017, hopefully. If my plans work out, which will take time away from what I'm able to spend here making extra videos like the Review Week of Awesome. So depending, that might be a thing, that might not be a thing. We will figure that out and I will let future me decide. But if it is going to be a thing, then that will a video of that will probably end up going late August, maybe sometime in September like this year, because I was quite late getting that up this year, and we'll see how that goes. But don't ask me about it until then. And I hope you guys enjoy the Review Week of Awesome this year, because I put a lot of work into it, and I've got a lot of good feedback. Some people told me this was their most favorite and the best review week of awesome ever. I hope that is actually the case, and I'm not just seeing like a vocal minority of people that think that, but things seem to have been going well. So I still got at least one more video, hopefully out before the end of the year, that I gotta somehow work in around Christmas, because the next 2 weeks are, Christmas and hectic, but hopefully I can get at least one more video out for you guys that you guys should enjoy. And then January kicks in, we got a whole new season, whole new stuff, first reactions. I briefly looked over the chart. A little worried, but we'll see. I like to be optimistic about those things. And things should be fine. Yeah, I have a couple of minor vlog videos to go up as well, including a loot crate that I recorded. You guys might enjoy that, or not. I don't know. And that will be that for this wrap-up video. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me through the review week of awesome. I'm sorry that it is later than I probably should have had it, but hopefully the quality would have made up for the extra time, because I could have rushed it and made it out the week earlier, but I don't think it would have been the same, or quite the same, had I been able to do that. So everything worked out great, and hope you guys enjoyed. So until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.